welcome to the Compliance Weekly sync for the 26th of the 7th. The first order of business is to walk the milestone board, so I'll share my screen and we can go through the closed issues. So the last one from last week was the feature flag rollout. So since then we've had the instance streaming add header functionality follow-up. Yes, and this was to when a new stream was added, or a new header was added to a stream, it was being added to the bottom. So now they're being added to the top of the list rather than the bottom, which makes it easier for users to see. The next one was with Hitesh.
So this issue was created a year ago, and we are not able to recreate it. So after some analysis, we have closed it down for now.
Cool. Next one was improved disabling of audit event streaming destinations. So I know Lorenz has done some great work on when adding new streams or editing streams, when the save button was randomly being enabled and disabled. So that's been updated now. The next was the create GraphQL API for adherence report. That was Josefa. I don't know if you can speak to it, Jay.
Yeah, so Josefa had created the new GraphQL endpoints for the adherence reports, and they included filtering, and I verified it on production, and I've integrated it with the UI for the front end, and that front end MR is just on the maintainer review, so hopefully there'll be a full end-to-end view for that soon. Yeah, it was really good work from Josefa on those.
Awesome. Next one was another one from Lorenz, which was UI alignment of streaming order events follow-up.
I verified this
just
one.
A small UX follow-up to adjust the headers for stream. Oh, cool. Next was Hitesh with add audit events on change and instance level external audit event destinations.
Yeah, so I added audit events for instance level destination on every create update test.
Right. And that was the end of 16.2. Well, let me see if I can use this UI. And we've got this list to go through. This was the header height of the inputs was slightly off, but this is actually to do with the GitLab UI component tree in Firefox. So we've created a new task within that project and closed this one out. The next one was Hitesh with don't create external audit events when there is no change.
So yeah, it's part of that epic which make sure that no audit events are being generated if there is no change in the updation of values. So this is for group level external audit event destination. So I created an MR for adding aspects for checking whether events are being created or not. So they were not getting created, so just left it with that.
Right, and the next one was GraphQL destroy API when event filters for instance level with Hitesh or Hasima.
Yeah, Hasimer verified it. So
I think I just verified this.
this, as name suggests, so for instance level external audit event destination, this API deletes the event filters. I think.
Great. The next one is with Jay, the compliance report to Compliance Center.
Yeah, so this one finally got merged, and just the update to rename that tab and page headers to Compliance Center from Compliance Report.
Awesome. This is a big change for us. So congrats to get that through.
And we learned that there's an approval process for this. So for next time, if anyone needs to do that.
Yes, any changes to the menu need to go through the approval process, which we learned about. And so we can, anyway. And the final one was the SAML authentication for merge request approval rules. With SAM, this was just closed because it was promoted to an epic, and more issues were built underneath that epic, as it's going to take a little bit longer than that to get through. Cool. So next up is to go through the planning issue and just assess where we're at on that. So the first one is with Huzaifa and Jay with the compliance adherence report. I don't know if you can speak to it, Jay.
Yeah, so the basic structure for 16.3 looks like it's in place. The back end with the GraphQL queries are working as intended, and the front end is just going through phase one of the front end is just going through reviews right now, and it's on track. So.
Perfect. And Hitesh, so the next one with the instance level audit event streaming.
With this one, the major thing that is remaining is for cleaning up of the feature flag. Other than that, there are several MRs created for adding audit events for either filters or headers, and they are under review or just at the final stage. Other than that, there are several follow-ups added to this. So it's on track.
Cool. And just to add to that, the filtering UI MR is in final maintainer review and just gone through second round of feedback. So hopefully that gets merged. The next one was the streaming audit event filtering with the UI. So the name field MR is in final review. So hopefully we can do that. And the filtering by project and API has not been started, but that's on track. The next one is the integrate with third-party storage systems and Huzaifa with the Snowflake API. Don't know if anyone knows, has any update. No, move on to the next one. Order event performance limits, Hasima with completing the current query analysis.
Yeah, for this, I recently created a MR, which you can do a POC locally. So you can take a pull and try to actually integrate with ClickHouse. So that is done, and we are on track for this quarter. Also, the query analysis is complete.
Awesome. And I just wanted to call out, that was a great POC that you did with the MR. This looks really good. Next one was the audit event type schema definition MVC with Huzaifa. So does anyone have an update on this? I know Hitesh, you might have been looking at the error reporting from the YAMLs.
Yeah, I got assigned one MR for review, and just give me a minute. Sorry. Yeah, I reviewed it, and I had some different opinion regarding the MR, related to raising an error or exception or showing a 5xx while testing it out. So yeah, that is under review right now.
Cool. And I know Huzaifa had been working on adding the undefined YAMLs, and there has been basically a week without any undefined ones coming through. So I think we're captured everything at the moment. And so we're on track for closing that. The next one was the retry failed external status checks with Jay.
Yeah, so this one also on track. HeartSmart had some good feedback to move the code to a worker. So I'm just in the middle of getting that done and pushing that one, and then continuing with the MR that was already created a few weeks ago.
Fantastic. And I've got a update from Sam on the violation report export. So he has had some additional database maintainer feedback on the final MR that he's taking into consideration, but it's on track to be finished this week / early next week. The next one was the replace drop-down selection with Hasima.
Yeah, so in this issue, we are actually trying to use a new column, which is a JSONB. So current status is we have some issues completed, and backfilling of the data. I have created 2 MRs for backfilling of the data. Once that is merged, I will move on with actually modifying the API. So current status, it's on track.
Perfect. The next one was the SAML SSO. As I mentioned before, that's been promoted to an epic. And Sam is currently planning this out and still reading more of the code to understand where changes needed can be made. The final one for this group is the streaming audit event requirements with Tish.
So I started working on one of the issues in this, and I found out that there are already audit events being streamed for that, and we just need to make minor changes in it to accommodate the issue.
And that's it from this, as we don't have...
One thing I forgot to add in my replace the drop-down selection for default branch issue. There is a one issue in which we actually will start using the new column, but because backfilling is being done in 16.3, the actual usage had to move to 16.4. So we will have one more issue in 16.
Yeah, I can see the date's been pushed out to the September there on that one. And we don't have QA or design on here at the moment. So move on to the next item, which was the engineering dashboard, which we have here. So we have availability sitting at 99.97%. So great work, everyone, keeping it tight. We have features at 50%, maintenance at 42%, and bugs at 8%, which roughly lines up with our 60-30-10. So we're tracking quite well for our cross-functional prioritization. And I'll just refresh this because that looks, is that the right date? Yes, yeah, so our MR rate has been sitting at just over 6 for the last couple of milestones, which is fantastic work as well. I'm still not sure about the 10 member count, but I might have to look into that because that might raise our MR count even more, but we'll have a look at that. So last milestone we had 76 merged MRs, fantastic, and 80 closed issues. So tracking really well compared to the previous milestone. It looks like we're sort of having more MRs and closing less issues, which I don't know if anyone's got any insight into that potentially. I like that personally, not tying MRs to issues. We've got a couple of 6 feature flags in here. I think those bottom 3 have all been moved to source code, so I will look into those ones and to the source code group and look at how we can move those on. But we've got external audit events, adherence report, and compliance adherence report. Those are all fairly recent, so I think we're on track there, and external audit events has been turned on, so we just need that cleanup. OpenSUS impacting issues, they're all S4 and below, which is fantastic. And past due severity bugs, we only have S3s and below, which I know that we're all targeting as part of our OKR for customer bugs. That's great. And the final thing we've got here is open MRs. And just looking through here, we have 2 at the bottom from Sam and Aaron on refactor audit events for user adjacent services and backend for the merge request violation export. Any comment there, Aaron?
Not really. We talked about this earlier today, but that one is just waiting to get into production, and then it's going to get kicked into verification, and from there it should be done soon, within the next week.
Nice work. I just want to see if it actually, maybe it hadn't updated. No, it's going to take too long. We'll move on to the next item of business. All right, so next up we have OKRs with the progress and blockers. So I just wanted to shout out that we've made a couple of big docs restructures to the audit event streaming docs. You can see both of them there for the UI and the API. This OKR for updating the compliance docs is now at 100%. And a big shout out to Evan for his fantastic work pushing us and helping us get that across the line. So thanks, Evan. Next item was with me as well. So Q2, there's only 1 week left before the end of July. So please update any OKRs with progress. And also, well, next week we can, I'll start a new issue about OKRs for the following quarter, and we can start discussing what we'll want to carry over and what went well, what didn't in the current OKRs. Next is Hitesh.
Yeah, so today's OKR, me and Jay are combinedly assigned, and the progress updated to 83% with some issues pending.
Right. And
Thanks, Satish. I think for the front
the
end for that
final
one,
item here was the hackathon. Jay, I don't know if you want to.
yeah, I can talk on the hackathon. The hackathon, I believe Nate put a message for August 10th and 11th, Thursday, Friday. And I was going to put some more details and some example ideas, and there's probably a table which can be edited and add some ideas. And then from there, we'll decide if it'll be, if anyone wants to pair up, or if we want to do something more for time zones, so it's easier to work together. But yeah, I'll put more info in the next week.
Awesome, looking forward to it. Yeah, was there anything else anyone wanted to go through? No, I'll stop the recording then. Everyone wave to the camera. Thanks for waving, Jay.